Hello everybody and welcome to Stone Avoid. I'm your host Jay Phillips, joining you guys with my host Nicolette.
Hey.
And Don Bowie.
Hey.
Nicolette, you're new to the show, so thanks for joining us this time.
Of course.
You are actually one of our members that went to the tournament with us down in
Pasadena. Yeah.
So a few people actually have already met you, and we all had a lot of fun while we were down there, so it's cool to finally actually have you on a podcast with us. Sorry guys, we didn't get a podcast out last week. I was gone, he was slacking, and no Patrick. So all the problems, but we missed out on giving you guys a little bit of update with a bunch of cool artwork that we saw throughout the last couple of weeks. All of the cool beach going surfer art stuff for Gawain and
Zero
had some really
Kagi,
cool art. Yeah. A ton of really cool promo art that we keep seeing popping up, which is super awesome to see. I really love them just putting out as much of that as possible. Along with that, we also got our very first spoiler that unfortunately we're just now getting around to, which was for the new set, which is the little rabbit.
The little rabbit thing?
Yeah. One white, it's 200, and it taps a ruler.
It taps a resonator or a ruler.
Yeah, which is pretty sweet. An interesting card to start off with, but it's going to be a promo full art at some point for us, so that's kind of cool to get that.
There was also a lot of controversy with Zero.
Why?
Just the booty, just like...
Yeah, some people were like,
Yeah.
some people were really upset about it, and other people were like, yeah, like, it's awesome, it's fun, whatever. It's a beach thing, but some people are like, yeah, it's, her butt's the center of it. I think it doesn't really matter.
You know, I usually will jump on an art for being sexualized. I didn't remember thinking of that one as sexualized, more as just a trope for anime stuff.
It's true. It's like fan service in America, it would be super frowned upon, but in anime and manga in general, it's like typically a normal thing.
Yeah,
it's just clash of cultures, I guess.
It's a butt.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a butt.
She's not in some sort of suggestive pose that says, come hither.
It kind of does. It's just
Is it?
Underwords.
It is under, but I don't think it's any worse than, when they redid the Percival art and all that kind of stuff, where it's just the super hardcore cleavage. It's if you're gonna jump on this for being over sexualized, I think you could jump on some of the remakes that of the cards, the reprints and stuff like that. I don't think it's any worse than anything else they've already done.
Yeah, but the main thing about that is I'm for it. It doesn't matter for me, but a lot of people that don't watch sexualized anime or things like that, they're gonna get turned off from the game if people play that card in front of them and they're interested in the game and they see that. Some people might go, oh, it's too sexualized, I'm not gonna play this.
Yeah, that is my problem with them posting arts like that. But however, I do feel like these ones are a little bit more tasteful than some that we've already seen, especially since it goes kind of hand in hand with the Gawain card.
Yeah,
so
it's summer, I guess.
Yeah,
it's a thong bikini. I don't know, kind of. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to relook at the art now. Oh man! But we also finally did get some. The actual news came out this week. We had nothing to go off of 2 weeks ago, but now we finally got spoilers coming back again, and we already are getting a bunch of information about what the new set's going to be like. Starting off with a very interesting mechanic, or not mechanic. This is something we've seen before, but now it's completely expressed among 5 different rulers. And that's 5 different rulers all having the same exact ruler side, which is going to be Memoria of the 7 Kings. Or
7 lands.
Yeah. 7 lands. I can read. Actually, really quick before we get into that, let's start with the text in which I just tried to read off of that. As somebody who is terribly dyslexic and can't read worth crap, and you all know because you've watched this show so much that, doesn't work very well. This new font is impossible for me to read at a glance.
Yeah, I don't really like it. It's too papyrusy. It's too unique-y, and it's just gimmicky. There's stuff inside of the circles, and it's just bad design overall.
It's very cluttered and messy.
I think if they had done something that maybe, I understand, wanting to put, the summoner circle in the O's, and I think if they did a lighter version of what they did, it would have been maybe a little bit better. But they tried to make every letter super detailed, super, a little excessive. I'll give them that. But I understand why they would want to change up the font, try to do something new with it. That's understandable, but...
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that they're always trying something new. However, when it it just
when it
something
affects
like
your
this,
ability to read the card, it's no
Yeah.
longer a positive thing. It becomes something it holds you back.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, if you're judging a game and you walk by and you should be able to like glance at a board state and know exactly what everything's going on. Sure, you should know that by the photo, but if this is how all the texts are and with all the special arts that we have, like, I just can't read that from a glance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've already people have already had a hard time reading like with the stamps and stuff like that when everything was stamped and like that kind of stuff, and so it's for them. This is an interesting step and back towards more confusion rather than stepping towards being really clear.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Yeah, and the text just looks childlike. It's not sleek or elegant
Yeah.
at all. It's not my taste.
It looks like that. What's it called when you're scrolling through the text? It's like the Fiesta one or whatever, where it's like, I don't know, all like
Something like that.
it looks bad. This is what. Long story short, it looks bad. However, this card looks pretty cool. Judgment for 4 generic. It is 5 different colors, and it does have the number type or BFA, so Battle For Attoractia, 1 through 5. So we definitely know there's at least 5 rulers that share this front.
Judging from that, we're gonna get into it, but Faria is one of the rulers, and judging from the spoiler video that we got, I think it's like Melgus is gonna be one of them, maybe Alice. Like, no, it has to be the Seven Lands.
Moving on really quick, what I think, since this is Faria, Chosen Girl is the first ruler that we actually have, so this is her actual side. The artwork that I've seen for her rulers before we go into her text really quick is I've seen the dragon, a giant metal dude, her, Refrain, and
Gil Lapis.
Gil Lapis as the ruler arts for the top of the page on their main website, and that leads me to believe that those are going to be the main rulers. And I think we've seen Melgus, but I don't think unless they have 10 rulers, which might be a thing. This might actually 10 rulers could be totally a thing, but I definitely feel like this is going to be those ones are going to be the 5 main ones for the set.
I think you're right.
If they did 10 rulers, do you think they'd be 2 main face sides and then both of them have 5 varying other sides, or do you think it would be like?
Well, I think Gil Lapis would have his own side. I don't think he'd be like part of the Memoria thing for the.
Do you think it'd be like a good versus evil, like?
Yeah, all the bad guys have different front sides, and all the good guys have a matching front side.
So it's kind of like, are you playing for the good team, playing for the evil team kind of setup going here?
Quite possibly.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely not sure how they're going to do it, but this one is BFA 091, so... they actually also changed the rarity of... it's no longer a rare, it's a JR, unless it's always been that way and I'm just crazy. Now I gotta go look at a ruler.
Yeah, I have to see
Later.
that too.
Yeah.
We'll confirm up top. Or something.
Either which way, she is a 1000. This card gains Faria, the ruler of Godsword, in addition to its other names. When this card enters the field, if you control a call to action Memoria, destroy up to 1 target resonator. If you control 4 call to action Memoria, destroy all resonators your opponent controls instead. When you gain life, put a +100/+100 counter on each J/resonator you control. This is actually a really strong ruler.
Yeah, you think you can get all 4?
If you don't, she still is going to pop one thing. So she kills one thing on the flip, which is average for most rulers. And then she gets really big off of support that we're going to end up seeing here in a little bit. And a huge thing is the fact that she gains Faria, the ruler of Godsword, which means that the regalia Excalibur gives her a ton of boosts and gives her imperishable, just right off the bat with that.
And she's already out of flame range too, which is nice. So that's she's already a decent size, and on top of that, it's even if you only have 1 out, so you're destroying something. But if you're playing a mono white, getting 4 out is like, okay, out of your stones, like. It's 4 of them. It doesn't matter. It's white.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that stone in just a second to actually show you guys what that looks like. But it does look like this is a reasonable card. Even if your
last ability is what makes it super good.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, if you have any sort of little support with this, even if you're not playing a white deck, even if you're playing with like Lucifer's or something like that, anything that gives you life, the vampire that destroys something, you gain life equals to it. It's like there's gonna be things with this that just make this a really fun card.
Vampire staff, just gaining life every turn.
Yeah, just that's gonna put you to making this a really huge ruler completely on its own.
One thing about it is it doesn't have a God's Art.
It doesn't, which we know that they're going to go away from those here soon.
Yeah.
It's odd to see them already doing it inside the set. It's something that...
it's always been there for the whole set, and it's weird not seeing it on these last cards.
Well, R&R didn't have a God's Art or the tree.
True.
Or there are a few of them that don't have God's Art, so this might just be one of those ones that just doesn't right now. But it'll be interesting to see in general.
Yeah.
Still got plenty to see. So.
One quick thing to note, which I'm going to bring up at the end of us talking about these little spoiler things for my own little thing. Both her and the other side of the card are heroic spirits as they're typing. And I'll get back to that in a little bit as soon as we're done looking through all these little things. Next up, we have Call to Action Memoria, which is the one that she works off of. It taps produce 1 white, and it has... or 1 light, and it's 1 light, 1 colorless tap, you gain 100 life. So that works with her in case that's something you need to do. It essentially just gives her a counter and gains you an inconsequential amount of life that really nobody ever cares about.
This is also a cool card. Like, it doesn't have any conditions to come in tapped.
Right.
So if you're just playing white stones, like, there's no reason not to play this card.
Yeah, it literally just fills that slot. I don't think white's strong enough to play on its own right now.
Yeah.
However, who doesn't know if it's going to be that way later on in life? So it's definitely a really cool card. I really like the artwork on this one, and I'm definitely going to try to play around with it in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Although it is a special stone, so split.
Split is a thing.
Anything else you want to say about that one?
No, that was just split was my comment, but you got it. So.
And, oh man, this text is just killing me, but I'll push through this stuff. It's Last People of Gloria?
Gloria, yeah.
Lost People of Gloria. There we go. 1 light, 3 colorless, and it's a 0 attack, 100 defense, and it's a soldier.
1,000 defense.
Yeah, 1,000. What did I say?
100.
100. Yeah. When this card enters your field or leaves your field for a non-field zone, you gain 700 life, which is interesting. This is a card that you're going to wall up with in limited, but I don't see this ever going anywhere outside of that. But it's interesting.
It's a lot of life. Yeah, if you do like...
If you bounce it and you just keep bouncing it, you could just rack up...
700 life late game, though, is literally a Parisia before she dies.
But if you flash it in, it enters and then leaves. So that's 1,400 total, considering the entering, that's like
That's taking
21.
a Gwyver to the face.
But it's a 4-drop.
It is a 4-drop.
It's
so
a
I don't
4-drop.
see it being played.
If you gave this on a 3-drop, maybe I might be talking with you. You do it on 2-drop all day long.
Yeah.
As a 4-drop, this seems... What are you doing? Like, I just don't know what you're doing.
Possibly. It
Why
depends
didn't you
on
play a Gwyver 2 turns ago?
if the meta slows down and life gain
Yeah.
is possible, and just to like stabilize enough for
And if you can get
to
enough
gain
life
this.
early on, if you're doing things like Lumia, which you're banishing to gain your life back when you take damage, if you're constantly in this like, haha, like you're doing so much damage but you can't kill me, like you reach a point where it's like it's 4 mana to play this thing, or it's done. It could be doable depending on how they set it up.
It could be doable, but considering Gwyver's hitting for 12 2 turns ago, I just don't see it in anytime soon. A card that looks really good on paper is really quick, just moving on to the next one, because I do see this life gain stuff like possibly seeing some sort of weird play. Life
Profiteering Priest.
There we go. I really hate this
I
text.
couldn't even read that one.
1 light. It is a 200 attack, 400 defense. For 1-drop, that's pretty average stats. It's a priest. When another resonator enters your field, you gain 200 life. Is an interesting idea on this card, considering that you can just spam out a dozen creatures each turn in this game. That's kind of a fun idea, and I think life gains in like not important at all. Whether it's 700 or 200 life, doesn't matter. You're going to die no matter what, because you're just not doing enough. But this gives triggers to this can be an engine. This is an engine card. Yes, right now it only gives Faria a whole bunch of counters, but in another deck, or like if we can find any other creature that triggers off of life gain, this is going to be one of the most important engine cards that just feels that mechanic.
Yeah. Because
this is so easy to do.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The thing about life gain is it doesn't win you the game.
No, it doesn't. But this just allows you to do what you want to do, which is gain a trigger. Not life, a trigger for a mechanic of another card. Whatever that may be, I don't really know yet. I'm interested to find out what this card does eventually.
So turn 1 you play that, turn 2 you play Temple Monk and you gain 600 life?
Temple Monk...
Not Temple Monk, Temple Priest? I don't know.
It's Temple Monk, but like it doesn't
but it's
much.
But
if
that's
if you're focused on gaining
better life gain than the 4-drop a second ago.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
Moving on. Sacred Knight of the South?
South. Is that a W or a U?
I can't tell. South.
It's South. That's a W. That's totally a U, but it looks like a W.
Why would you make your U look like a W? I obviously read enough of this font. Like, I read all the time, and I read in some weird fonts on some weird websites, but this is frustrating.
This is not recommended for everybody at home, but I know how I can read this. I'm just going to come to the game drunk. I'll be able to read everything fine because it'll just, like, straighten out for me. Definitely don't try that at home, kids. But, I mean, literally, you got to be a drunken sailor to read this crap.
It's pretty bad.
Might be better in person. I say that with false hope. But
I mean, this is bigger than the normal card.
I'm going to try. Bring it
One
back.
light, one colorless, 600 attack, 500 defense. Sorry for cutting you off right there. It is a knight. When a J ruler enters your field, you gain 500 life. Whenever you gain life, this card gains +0, +200 until end of turn. And that's a weird trigger. It works interesting with R&R because then you can continue to flip back and forth. But that's about it.
500? That's pretty...
I mean, that's kind of inconsequential again, too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you pair that one with the other one. It's like every time you're playing a creature, it's gaining +200 defense. And
I mean, these creatures are like subpar in...
Yeah,
they are
they're
very
not
subpar.
like they're not. I don't think they'd be fun to mess around with. I don't think that they're necessarily competitive, but I mean, they're going to be fun to play with.
I do just find it funny though that if you're playing R&R late game, or like you are happy with having 3 stones, you could just sit there and gain 500 life each turn with him because he already needs another ability. Totally joking about that. Don't build that deck. I don't think it's going to be good, but if it does, I came up with the idea. Don't forget. It's interesting because I know that we got another card right after it that it mirrors, so the artwork kind of looks across from each other, which is kind of interesting, which is Sacred Knight of the North. And it has, when a J ruler enters the battlefield, you gain 500 life. It's 1 light, 1 colorless, 500 attack, 600 defense, so it's literally a mirroring of the other card. And when you gain life, this card gains 200 attack until end turn instead of the defense. So it's literally like these 2 cards are mirroring each other. I like the design space. It's a cool, concept. And with R&R, you're gaining 1,000 with both of these out each turn, which starts to become really good. Going back to my idea about R&R, gain 1,000 life every turn sounds great. That actually could be hard to kill.
Yeah. Again, gaining life is good if you could gain it at a rate that makes it almost impossible to kill. Yeah, like, I took 2 Guivers to the face. That's nice. I gained enough life that I'm not flinching at that. Like, that can be a thing, but it's the question is if they're going to build up the support for it.
Yeah. R&R Knights could be interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not there yet, though.
No, it's really not.
We need some more
but
stuff.
This is something that I could see.
And these are only really the commons.
It is just the
common slots. If there's like a rare that does more life gaining stuff, then maybe like a super rare kind of stuff.
I could see this possibly being something in Cube. So if you guys haven't watched our Cube videos, go ahead and click the annotation if we've figured out how to do those yet.
Mm-hmm.
Cube is fun.
Next up, I'm actually going to go to skip a spoiler right here for a very interesting reason. This is actually them introducing a new mechanic, which I am super excited about. Lars.
Inheritor of the Sacred Spirit.
He is 1 fire, 1 colorless. He is a knight, 600, and he has a really cool new mechanic called Shift. For 1 water, 2 colorless, you may play either side of this card. So this is where the mechanic is. It actually has another side to this card, which I'll show you in just 1 second. But you can flip this card. You may pay the shift anytime you could play a spell chant. So it's sorcery speed. And prevent all damage that would be dealt to this card during this turn. And I believe that's when you do the shift effect. So I
don't think so. That's just a static.
Oh, during your turn. Oh yeah, so he just doesn't die
time.
during your turn, which is cool. And then you can flip him to become Glorian Prince of Water.
Princess of Water, Charlotte.
I really hate this text. It makes me so much worse than I was before. For 1 water, 2 colorless. This is the other side of that card. It has 0 attack, 0 defense, but it is a Resonator Shift wizard. When this card enters the field, it enters with 5 +100/+100 counters, and as long as this card shifts, put 10 +1/+100 counters on it instead, basically. Which is very interesting. So that means you can play it as the red side and then flip it over to the blue side and make it a 10/10, or you can just play it from your hand as a 5/5 for 3 mana, which I don't understand why you wouldn't want just the 2 mana 6/6. I'm guessing this is just a way to show you that you could play both sides of the cards and how to do it properly, and they'll do more trickier design space and do something more unique with it later on. This is just a concept style card to get you used to the mechanic.
Well, also, if you don't have the correct colors for your stones, you're like, well, I don't have any red. I'm screwed. You could still play it at that side.
So in the sleeve, I think you can only play one side, right?
I'm curious about that. We're gonna have to get some rule text on that.
Well, they also could do what Magic did and have a card that's check it. This is this card, and that's what you have in your deck. And then you're like, cool. This card is representing this. I'm gonna pull this out, and cool, I have this thing.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah,
it's some sort of check card or token stuff.
Card.
Yeah.
Which could be cool. However, this card, by the way, is super playable. And for the next words I'm about to read, which is remove 4 +100/+100 counters from this card, draw a card. So as it goes to die, you draw 2 cards minimum.
Only if you flip.
You flip it. Yeah, when you're on this side. Mm-hmm. At worst, you play it for 3 mana and you draw 1 card off of it. This gets really interesting with Premonition of Kaguya, which is the one where it gains a plus ability, and then you put counters on it for all the damage it takes that turn, mm-hmm. or for the next damage, which makes this thing possibly super huge and could draw you several cards.
Yeah.
Get hit with block a Maribel, survives, and all of a sudden you're like, oh cool, I'm just gonna take off four cards, just draw 4 cards.
It wouldn't survive a Maribel.
So
Kaguya's Premonition, it takes all the damage, but then
it prevents it.
Yeah, it prevents it.
Does it prevent it?
As long as you awaken it. So it has an awaken on it. If you don't awaken it, it only gives it +200, +400. So you got to decide on how you play it during part of the game. But if you awaken it, it does prevent your creature from dying, which can make this thing absolutely huge, and then you just reap all the benefits.
Cool.
So this card could see play literally as just 1 blue, 2 colorless, and you just tried to counter build on it.
A 5/5 for 3 is kind of lackluster, though.
But if it can draw you half your deck,
sure, it can.
It's cute. I'll give you that. But I'm just saying, this card is going to see play in some sort of fashion. I think that this card can be really good.
And again, they did the same thing with the art of this one and of the other side. It's everything's been really matching up. So I think also going back to the rulers, I think having light and dark side would go really well with the whole matching theme, symmetry.
Yeah, I really like that symmetry to everything.
Would one of you like to smoothie bet
on that card being playable?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
See, I haven't previously been part of any of your smoothie betting, and so I can I don't know.
For viewers out there who do not know what our smoothie bet is, I can talk. What the bet is basically every time that we see a card that we think is super playable or super not, we can offer up a random item to be blended into a smoothie for whoever loses the bet, and they have to drink it. The rules for it is essentially as follows: is you choose if the card is going to be played or not, and then we have until the next World Series, basically.
Yeah. At the end of Worlds,
we'll see if it made any top 8s anywhere. If it didn't make a top 8 in the deck, you lose and drink up.
This is an extra dangerous card to bet on, considering that Worlds are coming up.
Yeah, this is a very soon. I mean, we can extend some bets to different ones if we want. Honestly, sometimes I think that's a little bit too far out. I mean, 3 months to see if a card's playable is more than enough. And considering we still got like 6 months.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know if I necessarily want to bet on that card, but I know I'm going to build with it because I love drawing cards.
Yeah, drawing cards is nice.
And there's a red-blue deck that I already play that has a lot of like weird counter building and does weird things.
Adam Raleigh on top of Little Soldier, draw 2 cards.
Yeah, so there's just...
Yeah.
There's interesting. And the fact that Adam Brawley even works with this card. You just eat all the counters to draw 2 cards and then Adam Brawley it to draw another card. There's a lot of card drawing. It's interesting.
It's cute. It is still really cute.
It is now you're just making fun of me with the whole cute thing. I do call a lot of things cute, and strictly by that I mean that it's completely unplayable. However, it's a possible engine card, and I don't like to discount engine cards. It's the same as the other one. Like, sure, we don't have a thing for them right now, but they can drive an entire deck.
But usually you're only going to draw 2, right? Because Kaguya's Premonition is not even seeing play right now. It's not even viable.
Shut up. Totally don't have a bet on that one. No. You're right, but this is a odd start to something different. Maybe it might not work with Kaguya's Premonition, but there's going to be something at some point that I feel that can break this card.
That adds 4 counters to draw.
Well, I think being able to draw cards by spending your counters is, even if it's not going to be this card, I think that's going to be... There will be another card that's like spending counters.
So, Muchadart's 4 mana, and that one sometimes only drew you 2 cards because it would die immediately. That was really good, and this just seems like a slightly more interesting version of it because you can be aggressive with this. You can drop it at 2. It can just be a 6/6.
And
it can just 6 Sages has a lot of synergy.
It does.
This card doesn't have any synergy.
But we don't know very much about the set yet. We haven't seen what the other flip cards are going to look like. We don't know what a lot of the blue and the red are going to look like. So we don't know if it's going to have a lot of great support around it, or if it's going to be kind of more of a standalone thing where they're trying to edge in the flip cards.
Yeah. So either which way, I don't want to keep drowning on too much about this card too much. It's a cool mechanic. I'm really excited to see Shift being a part of Force of Will. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really quick before I go into the pack art that we also saw really quick, I'm going to quickly do a little bit more talking about something that I'm just going to speculate a little bit on here. The Heroic Spirit titling for rulers and the J rulers is interesting to me for one reason only. We still haven't had an announcement of what the next Van Gogh set is going to be. However, this could just be completely me shooting one in the dark, but Fate Stay Night, or the Fate Stay world in general, is an interesting choice possibly for that, simply because heroic spirits are what those vessels are called in the show, and that's what they summon. Lancer or Archer and all of the people that could possibly be rulers or various things like that are all heroic spirits, and this could just be completely coincidental. Most likely is. However, I feel like that would be an interesting design space or way to foreshadow them, like having the rights to print cards with that and whatnot, and them already using that kind of like, hey, heroic spirits is going to be a typing that we utilize. And who knows if something Van Gogh set might, if they do the Fate Stay world, they could have cards that help out heroic spirits, which could be these rulers as well.
Which would make them playable in not just in the Vingolf.
Yeah, so we could have a really interesting design space with that. However, like I said, we're unconfirmed. We have no idea what the Vengolf set is, but I am starting to even more tilt towards that being the anime of choice.
Yeah, I think that's what the fans are all talking about. Like Fate Zero's Fate series is the one that people want the most.
I think there's a decent amount of content in it as well that they would have a lot of options for what they want to do with it, and so I think that's also would be a decent choice.
It would be interesting that they would have to do more than 5 rulers for it if they want to do all of the heroic spirits as rulers, because there's 7?
I believe so.
Yeah, which I mean they could do one colorless one for like Berserker or something like that, and then like a 5-color one for somebody else. Of course, Saber would be probably white. Archer would probably be dark.
Red or dark? Oh, the sorcerer one.
The spear person. Oh, the sorcerer would be black.
Yeah.
Or darkness.
You could have
the spear guy
color.
could possibly be red. Well, if they're going for like an unlimited blade works archer, he could be colorless because just summon all the weapons. Gilgamesh would probably be
green.
Actually, the colorless one, I have no idea what he'd be.
Gilgamesh is like totally green. He's like a big fatty.
I just wait. This is my world of speculation. This is totally what I believe. I would love to go into this a little bit more. We are going to be try to close this one up a little bit here.
Wait. Another interesting thing with the Memoria of the Seven Lands is Socrates. Socrates gets +4, or +2? I don't know. Socrates gets a plus for each color that you control. So Memoria of the Seven Lands is 5 colors.
Oh.
So it's triggering all 5 of the color buffs.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I think it's +2/+2 and it's base 4. So it's a 14/14 for 3 mana. Or 2? 3. It's 3.
That's really fun.
Yeah. So the price on TCG Player right now is like $75. Because people just bought them all out. The super rare version.
Why did I not know about this?
That's just because there's...
Who's Socrates?
It's from
Vingolf.
Yeah, there's lots of...
Okay, well, I'm glad I have a playset of those, even though I don't know where they are, and I'm going to go home and find them.
I gave mine all away because I thought I'd never need them.
Yeah, Socrates is pretty expensive. It's $75 because there's nothing listed right now. It's probably not worth that much.
No, but... somebody's going to go home and list theirs tonight.
Well, I mean, how much are Vingolf boxes still selling?
They're like $40. But this is a super rare version that you might not get.
Oh, Socrates. Right. That's true. Oh, super. Yeah, that's going to be more expensive. I thought you were just like the base ones. I was like, okay.
The base ones might get there.
I mean,
they might get to like probably like $10 or something like that. I'd just wait. That's really interesting. Make sure you go pick up your Socrates. Find them in the junk drawer where mine are probably hanging out. And yeah, that seems kind of fun. But yeah, I want to close this up really quick tonight. So the last thing I really want to bring up is we do have the Battle for Attoractia pack art, which dropped last week. So once again, sorry for not having a podcast last week because we could have showed you guys this one. We also have a total list of 105 cards, so we knew that. There are 11 super rares, 28 rares, 22 uncommons, 29 commons, and magic stones are 5 kinds. There is no JR listing for the amount of cards in here, so if anybody want to quickly add up those maths and figure out how many rulers are left, that'd be awesome. But yeah, so same stuff as last time. But anything else you guys want to say before we end tonight?
No.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'm, of course, was your host, as always, Jay Phillips.
I'm Don Boo.
And I'm Nicolette.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.